we're saying. It's a black thing, so you got to understand.
Terminus.
I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice. And let me remind you also that moderation in the pursuit of justice is no virtue.
Industrial giant, to get government back within its means and to lighten our punitive tax burden. And these will be our first priorities, and on these principles there will be no compromise.
I can hear you. I can hear you. The rest of the world hears you. And the people who knock these buildings down will hear all of us.
Never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy.
But I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. We declare our right on this earth to be a man, to be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary.
Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hey, what's up, Saints and Patriots? Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani, RagingElePhantsRadio.com, the rebellious voice of Texas liberty. You have tuned in to the anti-panic 2 hours of digital media, social media. I tell you, I got some info for you today. I am going to start off with something that's pretty controversial. And on Facebook.com/Raging Elephants Radio or in the chat room at RagingElePhantsRadio.com, I want to know what you think about what I'm about to play for you. It's a video that Pastor Broden sent it over to me of this doctor in St. Louis. And I'm going to let it roll. It's controversial, and I want to know what you think. I want to know what you think on Facebook.com/Raging Elephants Radio. I want you guys to give me your comments in the thread, and you let me know if this guy is the real deal, because he's calling everybody out. He's calling the medical community out. Now, the only problem is that Pastor Broden sent it to me through Facebook Messenger. And for some reason on the computer, the video is not viewable. It's only viewable on my phone. For some reason, I don't know. So I could not get it into the studio to be able to properly capture the video. Oh, and by the way, Alice Linehan returns today. Raging Elephants Radio contributor Alice Linehan. I've got so much, and I want to jump right into it. I want to jump into this doctor first. I can't even pronounce his last name. So what I'm going to do is let's see how this looks. I didn't look that great, but I got to roll with it. Well, let me see if I put it over here, because I didn't get a chance to test any of this out. Nah, that's even worse. I think I'm gonna have to put it about right here. And I don't know how the light's gonna be on you guys. Sorry. But you gotta hear what this guy has to say. He's a physician in St. Louis. And basically what he's saying is this whole panic thing is a panic. That people are being cured from COVID-19. A lot of fake news out there about COVID-19 and the coronavirus. And I want you to hear what I say now. I've got to kind of jerry-rig this thing. I've got to pull my microphone off. Which is tricky. Come on. All right. And I'm going to put it on here. So hopefully you guys can hear the audio. Alright, and I'm going to turn it all the way up. I'm going to turn this all the way down. I'm going to turn it a little bit more towards you guys. I hope you can see it. I can't zoom in because I'm working with one camera here. But I'm going to crank him up and let me see. I want your comments on Facebook. I want your comments on RagingElementsRadio.com, the chat room. Let's see if I can get this guy. You can hear him. That's the most important thing, is that you hear what he has to say. Here we go.
Hey everybody, good afternoon. Hope you're having a great day today. It's Dr. Naputi. I got some things that we need to talk about today. We need to have a conversation. And Common Sense Nation needs to wake up. I want to share some things with everybody. I had a good friend of mine send me something today that is just absolutely crazy. How's everybody doing this afternoon? You guys having a good day? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know where in the world you guys are at, so I can see you, I can hear you, I know where you guys are at today. It's Monday. It's a beautiful day in St. Louis, Missouri. It's supposed to be like in the 80s today, or high 70s, 80s. That's awesome. But I got some stuff we got to talk about today. I'm going to wait for everybody to jump on. Let me know where all you guys are calling and commenting from. Let me know where in the world you guys are at. I don't know why I can't see my comments here, but that's okay. Let me know where you guys are at. Okay, I'm going to do my best to answer some questions, but I got some stuff on my mind that's a little common sense that I just want to ask you guys about. First of all, let's have a conversation about what we do know about COVID-19. I want to know what we do know about COVID-19. We know it is a respiratory virus. We know that. We know that it attacks the epithelial cells in the lungs, and that's the deal. So the healthier your lungs are, the healthier your body is, the less chances you have. There's a report this morning that we got. There's a physician out of Los Angeles. He's a physician. He's taking care of a ton of COVID-19 patients. Dr. Anthony Cardillo, he's an ER doctor at a hospital locally in LA. He's also CEO of Mend Urgent Care. He's been prescribing the combination drugs of the chloroquine and zinc, and is crushing this thing. And what he's saying is, when people get on this protocol, that typically within 12 to 24 hours, they're literally walking out of the hospitals. They're just doing so much better. So, like, that's one thing. And we're going to talk about that because right now, I'm telling you right now, the answer is quinine. I want everybody listening right now to go do this. I want every one of you to go today, see if you can buy some quinine. If not, go get some Schweppes tonic water. Tonic water has a ton of quinine in it. Now, let me tell you something. Listen to me. Interestingly enough, there was a law that was signed into effect. It was an FDA law that Bill Clinton actually signed a long time ago. Now, hear me on this. Bill Clinton signed this law into effect, taking a bunch of nutrients off the market in the 90s. And quinine was one of them, okay? Quinine acts similar to hydrochloroquine, okay? Quinine acts as a transport chain to allow nutrients to get into the cells. So I'm telling everybody right now, if you know someone who's got flu-like symptoms, if they've got symptoms of COVID-19, the cold, the flu, whatever, go and get some either quinine and or Schweppes tonic water. Let me tell you this again, quinine and or Schweppes tonic water. I need every one of you people to be sharing this right now. I mean, everyone. Every person needs to share this because there's a lot of bullshit going on right now that everybody needs to know about. And I'm going to throw some common sense at you because most people aren't looking at this. Go get some quinine and get some zinc. And you're going to hear people say, oh, quinine, it's bad for you. That's why we took it off the market. No, it's not. It's in tonic water. It's very healthy. It's amazing what it does for muscle aches and pains. I use it in my office all the time for people. And if you can't find the quinine online to buy it, go get yourself some Schweppes tonic water. It has a ton of quinine in it. Take the quinine with high doses of zinc. Now, I'm going to tell you what the dose range is. Now, I'm not your doctor. This is not medical advice. This is a suggestion. I mean, I guess that's my disclaimer. But here's the deal. What they're using is high-dose hydrochloroquine and zinc. They're using between 100 and 250 milligrams a day of zinc. That's a lot. You cannot take that much zinc for a long period of time. But if you are preventatively taking zinc and want some Schweppes in your body for quinine, have about 3 to 4 ounces a day of that Schweppes tonic water. Take it before you go to bed or first thing in the morning, and take at least 50 to 100 milligrams of zinc. I'd say that again, 50 to 100 milligrams of zinc, okay? Do that every day as a preventative. Now listen, I need you guys to share this. Share. I'm going to share some stuff with you today that's like, I literally lost my freaking, flip my lid on this stuff. This is wrong. People should be going to jail for this stuff. That's what really pisses me off. Now listen, Dr. LA, talking about using high-dose chloroquine and zinc. They're showing most of their patients within 8 to 12 to 18 hours are doing great. They're doing awesome. Some people are saying it's a hoax and it's fake news. It's not. It's real. Why are they not pushing this on TV? There's a big reason for it because your saving grace is going to be a vaccine that's never had any safety or efficacy studies done to it. Go get yourself some zinc and quinine today. And those of you that just now jumped on, go and watch this from the beginning of the video and share this with as many people as you can. Because I'm done with it. This is my last straw. Why the hell this is not all over the news, why the hell this is not all over TV it blows my mind. It's because the media is out against you. It's fake news. There's so much bullshit going on, it's not even funny. So here's some bullshit. Let me tell you about this right here. This was sent to me this morning. You guys see this? It says this. This is a news article that was done by a fake news in Louisiana. Let me tell you what the hell it said. This is pisses me off. WAFB Gary Media Group. Anybody that knows anybody WAFB Gary Media Group, you guys need to call me because we need to have a conversation and we need to take you out to the broom closet. You know what that means. Now listen to me. It says one day old Louisiana girl dies of COVID-19. Okay, that's what it says from coronavirus. It says 1 day old dies from coronavirus in Louisiana. You guys better share this because I'm telling you, I'm about to drop a bomb on you. Why the hell this is not all over local TV is beyond me. Now listen, it says 1 day old girl dies from coronavirus in Louisiana. Then you click on the hyperlink. You click on the link that the original story comes from. Now here's the original story. Listen to this. Premature baby dies from COVID-19 complications in Louisiana. Totally different. Right here it says 1 day old baby dies of coronavirus in Louisiana. This is fake news. Okay, this is not. Let me tell you what happened. It says right here, 1 day old baby girl dies from complications due to COVID-19. According to East Baton Rouge Parish Coroner Bo Clark, MD, Clark says a pregnant mother was admitted to Baton Rouge Hospital April 1st with COVID-related symptoms, including shortness of breath and fever. She was placed on a ventilator and tested positive for COVID-19. Okay, now listen. The mother went into premature labor, delivered the daughter at 22 weeks early. 22 weeks early. You guys, at 20 weeks is when you find out the sex of the baby. Okay, so 22 weeks, the baby's not even, it's halfway done cooking. Okay, so the baby dies from that. The baby didn't survive. It didn't die from COVID-19. The baby did not die. Now, every mother in Louisiana, every mother across the world that sees this article, every person that's pregnant is going to be scared shitless because some a-hole is allowing this to happen. Now, I can't get on an airplane and yell bomb. I can't go into a movie theater and yell fire. That's a felony. But these assholes are allowed to propagate fake news. And we're standing there not doing anything about it. It's time for everyone watching to get a cranial rectalectomy right now. Let's pull our heads out of our asses and let's start looking at the truth. Like, this is ridiculous. You're telling me that the state of affairs in our world are letting people deal with this stuff? I mean, if this doesn't agitate you, you have a problem. You have a serious mental problem. If you are going to let somebody put out their fake news and it says 1-day-old baby girl dies from coronavirus in Louisiana, then we go back and we see that the truth behind the story is this. The truth is the baby died because the mother got sick. We don't know what the mother's underlying health issues were. She got put on a ventilator. The baby was born at 22 weeks premature. At 20 weeks is when you know the sex of your baby. The baby wasn't done cooking, and they basically said, the coroner says the baby died from COVID-19. That's wrong. You guys, this is the fake news that scares the shit out of people and doesn't allow people to understand what's really going on. I'm sorry, but I get so fired up because I'm a physician. I'm a doctor. Okay? Number one, I'm supposed to first do no harm. Number two, I'm supposed to do everything I can to help heal people. Not manage their symptoms, not manage their diseases, but heal them. Get them healthy. And you think this type of an article that's out is going to allow people to have good mental thoughts? Every mother who's pregnant right now is going to be scared to death. Every person who's got a child is going to be scared to death if they read this and don't click on the hyperlink with inside the link. This is wrong. This story should be retracted. There should be a statement that says, oh, we're sorry, the mother died while giving birth, and this is what happened. Like, we don't know if the mother died of birth complications. We don't know. We don't have any of that information. We don't have any of that information. All we have is an article that says, baby girl in Louisiana dies from coronavirus. That is bullshit, fake news. I'm sorry if you have children watching. I'm being as PG-13 as I can. But who's going to stand up and take this? Who's going to stand up? We can't take this anymore. Here's another thing that's in the news this morning that just got sent to me. Okay, remember, all the hospitals are overrun. They're overloaded. They're flawed. People are dying. They're leaving people out on the sides of the streets in New York just because they don't have anywhere to put the coffins. Okay, right off the presses this morning. This is in the Herald Tribune out of Sarasota, Florida. Okay, coronavirus, Florida is the headline. Sarasota Memorial Hospital furloughs staff members after $16 million decline. $16 million decline. Every hospital around the country, here locally in St. Louis, we know for a fact that the hospitals are down, and this one's down $16 million since the beginning of this coronavirus. Shouldn't they be up? Shouldn't they be up with people in the ERs, people in the hospitals, people getting tested? Shouldn't they be up? Shouldn't they be up massively because everybody's going to the hospital? No, they're down. Gunshot wounds are down. People are going to the ER is down. Going to their doctors down. They're down. But $16 million they're down, so they're furloughing. They're laying off their healthcare workers. Guess what? Coming to a hospital near you. I know already in St. Louis that there's doctors and nurses being laid off. I know already in Illinois, where we're right next to practicing, there's doctors and nurses being laid off. You guys are being lied to, propagated to by the false news, fake narratives that are out there. People are trying to get us all riled up and in a panic. Again, if you or me go into a public building and we yell fire and there's no fire, guess what happens? We get felonies. We get sued. We go to jail. If you go on an airplane and yell bomb, you'll never be able to fly on a plane again. But yet they can do stuff like making these claims. It's just bullshit. It's wrong. And somebody's got to stand up for it. And why? This is America. And I know some of you watching are watching all over the world, but you know what? We stand for something in this country. We've got a constitutional republic, that we've got Bill of Rights, we've got freedom of speech, we've got all this kind of stuff, and those liberties are being torn from us, and that's not okay. And the fact that you're sitting there not doing anything about it, washing your hands and staying at home, you need to wake up because your liberties are getting taken away from you, all because of fake news that's out there. You're not going to see that on CNN, NBC, Fox News, or local. They're all saying the same thing. Go do yourself a favor and look up this. Go look up Operation Mockingbird. Now, here's my foil hat going on. Okay, go look it up. Every media outlet across the country is being fed, spoon-fed a story to tell you. Go look it up. Operation Mockingbird, okay? Those of you that like it, that's your decision. Those of you that don't, that's your decision. But you need to get informed. What you do with the information is up to you. Now, to go back to the whole thing I said at the beginning, we know that hydrochloroquine and zinc are working great for patients. I mean, the doctor in Louisiana came out and said, hey, here's the deal. We've got patients that we're admitting to our ERs, our urgent cares, our ICUs. We're putting them on hydrochloroquine, giving them zinc, and guess what? They're getting healthier. Why are you not hearing about that? President Trump came out again yesterday and said, if you want to try it, you should try it. It's a conversation between you and your doctors. And then Fauci comes out and says, well, there's no double-blind controlled placebo study that shows that it's going to be effective. It's a drug that's already approved for stuff. We can make more. Zinc is safe and healthy and natural, okay? But they're pushing their narrative because Fauci says we're going to get this vaccine out and we're going to make it mandatory for all of you to get. If you want to get a vaccine, that's your decision. But I still live in America. It's freedom to choose. And I choose from my medical rights what I should and shouldn't do. How many of you think it's okay that if you get diagnosed with cholesterol, they can make you take cholesterol meds? Or if you get diagnosed with some type of diseases, they have to make you take chemo and radiation. If you don't, you could maybe not get your driver's license or a business license or insurance or travel outside of the state of the country. Is that okay? I want to know if you think that's okay. I know it's Monday and I'm a little bit fired up, but this is crazy. So those of you that don't get hydrochloroquine, because your doctor either doesn't know about it, because there's no double-blind controlled placebo study, which, by the way, Dr. Fauci, is there going to be a double-blind controlled placebo study of your vaccine? Is there? Because if there is, I'd like to see it. I'd love to see that. And again, if you want to take a vaccine, that's your decision. I don't care what you do. But if I want to take hydrochloroquine and zinc, then I better be able to do it. Now, if you don't want to take hydrochloroquine and zinc, go do this right now. Go get some zinc, you guys. Go get some zinc, and I need every one of you to go get some either quinine or Schweppes tonic water. I'm telling you, you're going to hear about this all over the internet now that we're putting it out. I guarantee you're going to see this. You need to go get yourself some Schweppes tonic water because it has quinine in it. Quinine does a lot of things in the cell. It makes the cell wall more permeable so that it helps get toxins out of the cell and helps get nutrients in. That's why when people have pain in their body, that's why when they have pain, we have them go drink some Schweppes tonic water or get some quinine, and guess what? Pain's gone. It's natural. But guess what? Hydrochloroquine, and we're finding that quinine are working similar-ish to where it opens up the cell and it allows the zinc to get in there. You want to use a Z-Pack? That's fine. Whatever you want to use is fine. But you guys, wake up. Like, we're being lied to so much, and I just am so frustrated. Like, as a doctor, it's my job to take care of my community. That's my job. You doctors that are watching this, and I see a lot of you right here, why are you not getting loud? I just told you the fake news about the kid in Louisiana. There was a baby that was born 22 weeks early because the mother had tested positive for COVID-19, went into the stress, forced the baby to go into labor, and the baby died. And the headlines were "Baby dies of coronavirus." Now, did you guys see earlier last week or late last week there was a story out of Connecticut where the governor came out, tweeted, and said a child, an infant, died in Connecticut of coronavirus. And then the parents came out and said, no, my child did not die of coronavirus. My child had an accident at home and died from that. It is just crazy. Please, you guys, go back and watch this, share this, because I promise you this video is going to get removed today. I promise you that there's no way in hell the powers that be are going to let this video get out. I promise you. And by the way, I can promise you this. Next month, I'm going to get more audits from the IRS, from the insurance companies, from Medicare, and everybody else, because when a doctor speaks up and speaks out about the truth, the powers that be come after the doctor to suppress him and shut him up. That's the world we're living in right now. How many of y'all think that's okay? It's not. Now, I'm telling you right now, we can get healthier. We can beat this stuff, but we got to wake up. We got to start seeing. It's 2020. It's time to start seeing the world of 2020 vision. And I'm telling you right now, you need to wake up and look around. Next time you see a major headline, look for the story that brought that story out. Look and see, well, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Your spider sense started tingling. This is not real journalism, people. Right now, what should be happening is people should be going to hospitals right now. I mean, independent people should be going and ask to volunteer at hospitals and see how crazy it is. Journalists should be going inside of the emergency rooms and the ICUs to find out what the hell is really going on in there. That's what needs to be done, because right now there are people all over the world going to hospitals and ERs and ICUs, and they're not seeing the craziness that's being reported. And I'm not saying that COVID-19 is not a real deal. I'm not saying it's not a virus. It sure is. We don't have a cure for it, just like we don't have a cure for the cold or the cure for the flu or anything else. And oh, by the way, don't you think it's really interesting if you look at the stats of how not right now all the COVID-19 coronavirus deaths are rising? Guess what's dropping massively? Deaths from pneumonia, deaths from the flu, and deaths from heart disease and heart attacks. Don't you think it's a bit ironic? What, are people not dying from heart attacks anymore? Are people not dying from pneumonia? Are they not dying from the flu? Nope. Apparently COVID-19 and coronavirus fixed that. So now every person that dies now, for the most part, is getting labeled toe tagged with COVID-19 coronavirus. Think about that, people. I don't know what to tell you. other than it's crazy. And every one of you better share this information with everybody on your contact list. And when I get done, you should start a watch party about this. You can get zinc glycinate still. You can get quinine still. You can get Schweppes tonic water still. You need to be rocking that stuff out. Yes, you can get vitamin C. Yes, you can get all these other products. Yes, you can get D. But I'm telling you right now, that zinc and that quinine is a game changer. That's what's being used, and you need to use this preventatively in your life as well. So again, I'm not making any claims that we're curing anything. I want to be real clear about that, because I guarantee you people are going to take this message and spin it. Crazy doctor from St. Louis claims he can cure COVID-19 with zinc and supplements. No, I never said that. No, I never said you can cure anything with chiropractic. No, did I say you can cure anything with a vitamin, because in our country, it is illegal to make claims about curing anything unless it's a drug. Did you know that? It's against the law. It is against the law. If you come to my office and we give you vitamins, minerals, nutrients, and IV therapy, and we give you good foods, and we get your diet right, and we get you healthy neurologically, and your cancer goes away, and if we claim that we cured your cancer, Dr. E's going to jail. Dr. E's practice is shutting down. But if we do all this work and your symptoms and sickness goes away, guess what? That's not our problem. That's the world you're living in. But most of you don't know that, because we're stuck with our heads either in the ground or up our rectum. It's time to pull your cranium out of your rectum and wake up and go, what the hell's really going on right now? Because there's a lot of crazy shit happening in the world and a lot of fake news. And oh, mark my words, this week is supposed to be the week of hell in our world. It's because of crap like this. So I'm going to encourage every one of you, wherever you're at in the world right now, see behind the curtain. It's like that movie, The Wizard of Oz, when the great and powerful Oz is there, and Dorothy and Toto and the Tin Man are all there, and they're all scared to death because this big fire-breathing man is telling them this is what's going on. And what's really happens, Toto goes and pulls the curtain back, and we see that there's a little old senile man behind the curtain that doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. That's what's happening in our system right now, and you're being lied to, and you're being a sheep, and you're letting it happen. That's your decision if you want to do that. You think I'm fired up now? You think I'm fired up now? I'm here to defend you. I'm here to defend my freedoms. I'm here to defend my family's freedoms, my patients' rights to choose what to do with their life. I'm just blown away. And I'm blown away why there are not more doctors like me talking about this all over the place. We should be banding together right now, doctors, and there's a lot of you watching from all over the world. I see you doctors from Europe. I see you doctors right now from the United States. I see you on this feed. I see the 1.5 1,500 people that are watching this live right now, and every one of you needs to share this right now. If you're a doctor, share it with your patients. If you're a person that cares about others, share it with your loved ones. People need to know what's going on and what's possible. And if you missed it from the beginning, you better go back and watch this thing, because you're being lied to. Little babies that claim to be dying in Baton Rouge, Louisiana from COVID-19. Shame on you for reporting that. Shame on that. Shame on that governor from Connecticut that reported that a little baby was killed, died from COVID-19 coronavirus, and they come to find out the parents came out and said, no, my child had an accident at home. That guy right now needs to have a resignation. I'm calling for that guy's resignation. All of you in Connecticut, I'm sure some of you guys are there. Your governor needs to resign right now for spreading fake news. They're spreading blatant lies that are going to kill people. Blatant lies that are going to kill people, not to mention kill our economy. You guys, I'm just telling you, I'm not taking it anymore. My gloves are off. I've been polite. I've been politically correct. I've been nice about it, but I'm not taking this shit anymore, and you shouldn't either. The truth is going to come out, and the truth will set you free if you'll let it, but you got to open your eyes. You got to start seeing with 20/20 vision, and there are things that you can do right now to help yourself improve your health. And by the way, we're going to get through this. The next couple weeks, we're already starting to see some declines. Yesterday, we saw some numbers drop on infections and on deaths. That's great. Guess what? They're going to scare the hell out of you into thinking that it's going to come back. And if you're not ready for it with your vaccine or whatever you got, then you're going to die from this thing. You know what? Here's the truth. The truth is this. Get healthy. And now's the time to do it. Most of you guys are on lockdown for the next 2 weeks to 4 weeks. It's time, instead of getting fat, let's get fit. Let's eat right. Let's exercise. Let's move. Let's take our supplements. Let's get some C, some zinc, some vitamin D. Let's get some elderberries, some astragalus. Let's get some quinine. Let's get a good probiotic, and let's eat good, clean, healthy foods. Not the crap in the middle of the aisles that's processed, but go get some vegetables. Eat a little bit of fruit. Eat some clean meat, some grass-fed beef if you can. Hydrate like crazy. Get outside and get some sun, and this too shall pass, and your immune system and your body will be healthy and strong, and you won't have to worry about this stuff. I got people coming to my offices every day that we're drawing their blood, we're testing what's their CD8, CD4 levels, their immune system looks good. They are not at risk. There are people that get COVID-19 and get coronavirus and they brush it off. You're hearing about the hundreds of thousands of people they're estimating in the United States alone that has been exposed to this and had no symptoms whatsoever. Maybe a cold, a cough, or a sneeze for a day or so and they're fine. What's the difference between those people and folks that end up in the ER or ICU and on a ventilator? It's the quality of their health. That's what it is. So if you will get yourself healthy, if you will do the right things, and you'll wake up and start looking at not the main headline, but the back headline, that's what you need to see. And that doctor, that coroner that put that out there, that coroner their resignation should be pulled right now. So those of you that are in government levels in Louisiana, those of you that are doctors in Louisiana, you better call and talk about these people and go, what's going on? This is not okay. Shame on you. And we're seeing false information put out all the time from newscasts all over the country about hospitals being overrun and about people dying in the streets and about little babies dying just to scare the hell out of you, and it's being shown to be fake news. Whew. I love and appreciate every one of you. I really do. And I need your help sharing this information. I promise you this video is going to get taken down today. There's no way that social media is going to allow this video to stay very long. So you better save it. You better share it. Save it. Text it to your friends. Hit the share button right now. Get this information out to people. And I'm going to be at it again tonight on this page. And then I'm also going to be on our Common Sense Health page on Facebook. You need to go to that page right now and ask to become a member of Common Sense Health. There's doctors contributing to that from all over the world. I've got another interview I'm giving tonight for doctors so that you can have some common sense. Because common sense will set you free if you'll follow it. It's time for us to step up, step out, look at what's really going on in the world today, and let's make a difference. I'm tired of it, and I'm not going to take it anymore. Are you? Are you going to take it? Are you going to continue to sit there and take it like a sheep? Or is it time for you to step up and step out, get educated, get inspired, and share this with people? I love and appreciate every one of you. I want to help you. Please go back and watch this video with a notepad and a pen. Share with your friends and family. I got to get back out there because I got people to take care of. Love and appreciate everybody. Take care. Bye.
So now you know why I had to share that video. Now I have to redo everything here. Hold on a second. I'm glad so many folks are watching via Facebook.com/Raging Elephants Radio. I apologize for all the extra noise. But he may be right, because Pastor Broden sent me that video right there, this doctor up in St. Louis. I can't remember his name. Some funny name, I don't know, I can't pronounce it. I mean, with a name like Kamau-Imani, I'm a little bit sensitive about hard to pronounce names and all. But I thought he was on target, because I've been calling this thing a panic from the very beginning, and you guys know it. I wanted to start the top of the program with it uninterrupted, let him roll. I couldn't get it. Pastor Broden sent it to me through Messenger, but once I tried to go to Messenger on the main computer so I could capture the video and produce it properly to share it with you in a professional quality, it was not available. The only way that I could see the video was through the phone. That was it. So I had to rig it up the best way I possibly could. Because I do believe it's a panic. I do believe that we're shutting down the economy. We're damaging the Texas economy unnecessarily. And by the way, in this program, if I have time, I will. I'll make time. I believe I have the solution that could at least open large portions of the economy back up, at least in Texas, right here, right now, today. So just like the doctor wanted you to share the video that he made about quinine and zinc, and that's the thing about the zinc thing. Whenever I feel a little sore throat or some sniffles, or Barbara does, or Jasmine, the first thing I say is go get that Zicam, which is nothing but zinc. Or somebody goes gets a Z-Pack. So it makes sense. I don't know enough medicine or enough chemistry to know about the quinine, but this is a doctor. He says that combination of quinine and zinc as a preventative. The zinc portion of it, I can give testimony because that Zicam stuff works. So share the video right now, because as soon as the program is over, you know that it automatically loads up to Facebook for replay when on demand when you want it, and you can share it. You can share it on your timeline. You can share it through Messenger. This program, which I'm pretty sure they're not going to take down. For all the crazy things that I've said, they've never taken down any of my programs. But for some reason, when I went to the computer to go get this video from this doctor, St. Louis doctor, couldn't get it. Could only play it through the phone. Okay, we got a lot to make up. I didn't take any commercial breaks. I let him roll for his whole 20 minutes or whatever it was, because I thought it was that vital, that critical, that there is a different medical point of view out there. And based on him, there's more than a few doctors that feel this way. When government takes turf, it is very hard for us saints and patriots to get that turf back. And they will use it, whether it's 9/11, whether it's Ebola. They will use whatever crisis is out there to take turf. You guys remember the border crises of 2013, 2014, and 2015 in the Obama administration, where they were just commandeering local, municipal, and county properties without even telling the officials. When government takes turf, it's hard to take it back. This doctor is right. I'm the one that calls it a pan panic, and I'm accurate. Don't cut the stream.
What's up, Saints and Patriots? I'm Apostle Claver, a proud Texas nationalist, and I'm here to tell you about Texit. For 25 years, Daniel Miller has been working to see the rebirth of the Republic of Texas. His work has been hard, but his passion is deep. For many Texans, there is a deep yearning, a burning to see the prophecy of Sam Houston come true. But the desire of their hearts comes with many questions. Texit has the answer. It's the new book from Daniel Miller and Defiance Press. Texit: Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. Texit charts the path to Texas independence. This riveting book of facts and philosophy will soothe your anxiety about the coming change and build your confidence that Texans can get it done. You'll want to buy several copies for your family and friends. Like I've said about this governmental mess, the only way out is out. And the best part of Texit, I'm in it. Texit: Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. It's selling like hotcakes. Buy it on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Texas Specialties is in a little town of 1,000, Three Rivers, Texas. Texas Specialties is a small family business in a town where treating people right is a way of life. The Stubbs family's Texas Specialties started out doing high-quality t-shirts for Texas music scene bands at affordable prices. Everything: the design, the artwork, the printing, accepting minimum orders, even selling t-shirts for the bands online. And now they bring that experience to you anywhere in Texas. Texas Specialties can do the same for any small business, for teachers, for schools, dance classes, athletic teams, clubs, and anyone needing good quality screen printing at an affordable price. The Stubbs family loves to work with ideas and the people who have them. Your experience with Texas Specialties will be excellent. Anything less just will not do. Call 361-784-2052, 361-784-2052. Click Texas Specialties. Ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. What do you care about Washington, D.C.? D.C. doesn't care about you. You're a Texan. You're a Texan above all else. And there's only one radio station that's going to feed your need for Texas power and independence. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Finally, the Patriots of the Lone Star State have a unified voice to fight back and organize. 24/7, 365. RagingElePhantsRadio.com is going to give you what you need to know about Texas politics, liberty, and independence. Take us wherever you go. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Streaming on your computer, smartphone, tablet, and internet auto.
You're enjoying Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Later on in the program, we're going to have Alice Linehan, Raging Elephants radio contributor. She handles big education for us. And slowly but surely, I'm reintroducing all of our RER contributors, after this super duper long extended hiatus that I had running for office. Slowly getting back into the swing of things, getting behind the microphone, telling it like a TI is. I want you to share the video right now because we've got a lot of ground to cover. The doctor took up a lot of time. We got a lot of ground to cover. I may have to go RER overtime like Doc did yesterday. I don't know because I've got so much information I have to share with you. For 3 weeks, Saints and Patriots, for 3 weeks, I have been saying that Texas has been under attack. For 3 weeks, I've been pointing to Russia, primarily, along with Saudi Arabia, their little urination contest over oil prices, and Texas is the one that's getting wet. And it seems to me that finally, the powers that be up in Washington, Double City, are finally getting a clue that we, as a state, Texas, our economy, the backbone of our existence, the energy industry, is under attack. Yesterday, I had to give big props to Senator Ted Cruz. And by the way, where is Corny Cornyn? Where is he? I'm not seeing him in making any media appearances. I don't see anybody mentioning Corny Cornyn fighting for Texas and the Texas economy. But here's Senator Cruz, the Cruz missile. He's at least making media appearances and appears to have some idea of what's going on, that we have been attacked. Yesterday, I called it an act of war. What if Russia or Saudi Arabia set off the coast of Gulf of Mexico and ran a blockade? None of our ships, none of our super tankers could leave out of Port of Corpus Christi, out of Port Arthur, out of Beaumont, out of the Houston Ship Channel. Nobody could leave. What if Saudi Arabia or Russia did a blockade and we couldn't export any of our oil or our LNG? It would be an act of war. And to me, they can disguise it as a war as a dispute between Saudi Arabia and Russia. But it seems to me that they are allied against Texas and our economy, attacking us specifically. I have called for retaliation. I have called for retribution. Supposedly last Friday, a bunch of bigwig CEOs from the oil company got together at the Oval Office and talked about a so-called strategy, what to do about the Russians and the Saudis. Because we're under attack, I say make them pay. Shut down their economies. Turn the lights out in Riyadh. So yesterday, Ted Cruz was on Fox News, and he laid it out. I also found video of Ted Cruz, which I'm going to play for you right now, where he says that they had a conversation with the United States ambassador from Saudi Arabia, and according to Senator Cruz, they gave it to her like a TI is. They laid into her. And I like the language that Senator Cruz uses. Let's go to the video. I want you to hear it right now. This is Ted Cruz, and he's talking about the economic impact that we are facing here in Texas because of the actions of the Russians and the Saudis. I'm the one that has brought this to your attention for 3 weeks. I've been talking about this since the middle of March. I've been talking about this, how we are under attack economically, and it seems finally that those that sit in seats of servitude, at least Senator Cruz, finally get the picture and are trying to do something about it. Here's Senator Cruz on CNBC.
Senator, President Trump is speaking this morning, and he's saying at this point that he's going to be calling the Russian President Putin today to talk about oil and other matters. He also says that Saudi Arabia and Russia both went crazy on the oil issue. Coming from the state of Texas, obviously, the lower oil prices are a big hit there. Do you think the president should use his influence with either Saudi Arabia or Russia to try and get them to stop producing so much oil right now?
Absolutely. I think that is a major priority, especially for my home state of Texas. And if you look at what happened right in the midst of this coronavirus crisis, a public health crisis that is dominating our focus, and an economic crisis that is flowing from it, millions of people losing their jobs. The Saudis and the Russians chose to take advantage of that crisis by flooding the market and driving the price of oil way, way down. And that was opportunistic. It was designed with a very explicit purpose that the Saudis are hoping to drive out of business American producers, and in particular shale producers, largely in the Permian Basin in Texas and in North Dakota, although also in a number of oil-producing states across the country. That behavior, I think, is wrong, and I think it is taking advantage of a country that's a friend. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I joined with a total of 13 senators in a letter to the Saudi ambassador calling on the Saudis to pull back and allow the price of oil to stabilize, to stop trying to drive it down artificially low. We did a conference call with the Saudi ambassador. There were, I think, nine of the 13 did a conference call. That, Becky, I got to tell you, was as candid a call and direct a call as I've ever had with a foreign leader, where the 9 of us, I mean, we, quite frankly, unloaded on her. And their defense was essentially, well, but Russia's doing this. And I can tell you my response. I said, well, that's fine, but Russia is not our friend. We know they're not our friend, and we treat them accordingly. We are aware their intentions to us are malign. The Saudi kingdom is supposed to be our friend, and we are a military ally, we are a diplomatic ally, and you are not behaving like a friend when you are trying to destroy thousands and thousands of small businesses all across Texas and the country. And so the senators on the call with the ambassador urged vigorously, and we said, listen, there are a whole series of steps we can take to escalate foreign policy pressure, and we outlined a number of them. If you continue engaging in economic warfare against the United States, trying to drive down the price of oil in order to exploit this coronavirus crisis to drive a bunch of American producers out of business, I'm hopeful the president will echo that same message, and I'm hopeful the Saudis will hear it, because those 13 senators not only were from were the strongest champions of energy and oil and gas, but those 13 senators have also historically been the strongest allies in the Senate of Saudi Arabia, and if they don't change their course, the relationship with the United States is going to change. That's very fundamental.
There you had it. Was I kidding? Senator Cruz using the same verbiage that I've been saying all along. Did you not hear him say he called it economic warfare? And he said specifically the Russians and the Saudis are targeting the energy producers of Texas. I've been saying for 3 weeks that we are under attack, that Russia and Saudi Arabia are specifically attacking the future independent sovereign republic of Texas, that they're messing with Texas and we need to mess them up. And there's Senator Cruz saying this is an act of economic warfare. That's what he just said. Specifically targeting us. And I've been on President Trump because where's the retaliation? Where's the retribution? That's why I started today's program. For those who listen via the app, listen to the audio stream, I started my heat up music with James Brown, Payback. Where's the payback? I'm going to take a short break right here. I got to come back with some video following Ted Cruz. I've got some video from Tillman Fertitta of Landry's Empire fame, Houston Rockets owner, what he says about the price of oil, about this oil shock, and what it's going to do to Houston, what it's going to do to Texas. And I'm saying that we need retaliation. If we had been blockaded by Russia or Saudi Arabia, there would have been military action. I think economic sanctions against Russia and Saudi Arabia are apropos. I think it's quite appropriate to make them hurt because they're making Texas hurt. And Senator Cruz is absolutely right. It's Texas, unlike any other portion of the nation, that's taken a double whammy. First, the panic, and two, as Senator Cruz has said, we have been victimized. We have been the victims of an economic attack. Economic warfare. Senator Cruz said he didn't focus so much on Russia as he did Saudi Arabia, because he said to the Saudis, look, y'all supposed to be our friends. The attackers from 9/11 came from Saudi Arabia. Osama bin Laden came from Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia isn't one of our best friends. And here's Saudi Arabia trying to put Texas oil men and women out of business. Most of you that are watching this video right now that are fans of Raging Elephants Radio, I don't know about you, but I know about me that as a child when I was growing up, what kept food in my belly was my dad going to an oil refinery and getting a paycheck off the clock at an oil refinery. And for generations, men and women in Texas, all across Texas, have been making their bread and butter off of Texas tea, out of pulling oil out of the ground, out of pulling natural gas out of the ground, out of pipelines and shipping and refining. And they're attacking us as our economic backbone. And we need to call them out. And thank you, Senator Cruz. Thank you so much for at least jawboning on this and trying to put some pressure on somebody to retaliate so that Texas can survive. We got the double whammy. The pan panic and Russia and Saudi Arabia literally trying to attack us. I'm going to take a break and come back with this video from Tillman Fertitta. I'm in a bit of a rush today. Got a lot of content. I always over-prepare, it seems like, because we still got Alice Linehan to talk about, to invite in. What's happening in education? When government takes turf, it's very hard to regain it. And Big Ed, you know it, in the midst of this crisis, they are going to find some sort of way to grab a hold of more power, more influence in your life, in your child's life, in your family's life, in your children's future. And it's not going to be a pretty thing because Big Ed is tyrannical down to the bone marrow. So you don't want to miss Alice Linehan. She's coming up. When I get back, Tillman Fertitta. And I like Tillman Fertitta because he's not waiting for the government to bail out Landry's. He has a free enterprise scheme, and I'm going to tell you about that as well. If you're not listening, you're not learning. Don't cut the stream. RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Pastor Stephen Broden is a featured Bible teacher.
What runs interference with God's instructive word are Satan, the world, and the flesh. Out of these three comes doubt, fear, and unbelief. Doubt and fear leads to unbelief. Unbelief, more than any other sin, is targeted towards the very character and integrity of God Himself. It challenges God's promises, His stated purposes, and casts dispersion on His plan for you and all who believe. This is what Satan did in the Garden of God with Adam and Eve. Satan led them to believe God was holding back on them and was untruthful about the consequences if they ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Enjoy Pastor Stephen Broden, 9:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Harris County has a crime problem. Who are you going to call? It's harder than ever to know who you can trust. You can trust Joe Dana. Group culture is always set by leadership, whether it's an airline or a city. As a lieutenant constable every day, he honors his oath to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the laws of Texas. Protect and serve is in his DNA. As a Harris County Sheriff, Joe Dana will restore your trust in the Sheriff's Department and improve the morale of the deputies on the street. You can trust Joe Dana as Harris County Sheriff.
I am Lieutenant Constable Joe Dana, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Joe Dana campaign. Hey guys, spring is just around the corner and it's time to check out your air conditioning system. Call Galen Beatty with Beatty AC and Heat, 281-222-9591. And mention this commercial and you can save $15 off your next checkout. Galen Beatty is my AC guy and he needs to be your AC guy too. No one does it better than he does. This family-owned business is the best in Houston. And even if you're out of town, if you need to replace your entire heating and AC system, Galen Beatty is going to be your best bet. He'll check everything from your thermostats to your air handler to make sure that you're getting the most efficient system ever. Nobody does it like Galen Beatty, and the price is always right. So be sure to mention this commercial and save an extra $15 today. That's Galen Beatty with BeattyACandHeat.com. BeeACandHeat.com. 281-222-9591. 281-222-9591. Call him today.
Hey, this is Claver. I want to take a few seconds to give you some words of encouragement. Go after the dream. Some of you have embraced the dream of having your own talk show. Congratulations. You've got a lot to say, and you have the confidence to believe you can do a great job. You should start on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Purchasing your own block time is cheap. Yeah, a lot cheaper than your local terrestrial station for sure. And we don't leave you to sink or swim. Consultation on how to get up and running is part of our service to you as an RER independent producer. Shoot me an email, at RagingElephantRadio.com. Info at RagingElephantRadio.com. I'll send you a full media kit. Launch that dream right now with RagingElephantRadio.com.
Take us wherever you go. Raging Elephants Radio, streaming on your computer, tablet, and smartphone.
Don't forget, right after me, the original Liberty Shock Jock, the amazing Doc Green, right side of the mic, right here on RagingElephantRadio.com. Immediately following me, don't forget the girls from Texas. They've been doing this fantastic expose, investigative journalism on this gypsy cop up in Eastland County that's been nominated. He's the Republican nominee for sheriff in Eastland County. He's probably gonna take it whenever the general election is gonna be held, if it's held on time. And this guy is awful. He is about one of the most corrupt law enforcement officials you could have ever been told about. And Holly, Gloria, and Susan Dantzler have been doing a great job for the last 4 weeks telling you how awful this guy is. And it's unbelievable that someone of this type of lack of character would have a badge and a gun and is about to become a constitutionally sworn-in officer, the sheriff of Eastland County. All types of sexual misconduct, allegations, proven, not allegations, proven. A gypsy cop going from law enforcement department to law enforcement department, can't keep a job. Everywhere he goes, he finds himself under an investigation, most of the time for sexual misconduct. And this guy is the Republican nominee for sheriff in Eastland County, lying on his resume all over the place, always under review, always under disciplinary action, and is about to become a sheriff. And Gloria, Holly, and Susan have been doing a great job exposing that. Stay tuned to RagingElephantRadio.com for more information. I want to go to Tillman Fertitta, and I want to show this video. And it's also off of CNBC. And Landry's Restaurant, based right here in Houston, along with Golden Nuggets Casino. Tillman Fertitta, restaurateur extraordinaire. He's got an empire. He has a couple of best restaurants, some of our favorite restaurants as far as Barbara and I are. On our first date, we went to a Tillman Fertitta restaurant, Seasons 52. I think McCormick and Schmick's is a Landry. Hey, babe, are you in there? Are you in your office, babe? Hey, isn't McCormick and Schmick's a Landry's restaurant too? I believe so. So on our first date, we went to 2 Tillman Fertitta restaurants. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Yeah. Oh, okay. And to save his company, he's not waiting for government assistance. He's not waiting to live off the government teat. But I want to get to oil prices, and I want to get to the economic warfare. I didn't call it, well, I'm the first one to call it economic warfare. I'm the one that said Texas is under attack, but you just heard the video from U.S. Senator Ted Cruz, who called the actions of Russia and Saudi Arabia economic warfare. We need retaliation. We need payback. Now, here's Tillman Fertitta. Houstonian through and through. And this is from March the 2nd, okay? This is over a month ago. Tillman Fertitta talking about the coming oil crash. This is from March the 2nd.
We spent time together in Houston about the oil price impact. And I understand that Houston is a massive city. It's well diversified. You've got MD Anderson, you've got software, you've got a consumer economy. However, oil prices have gone up and down wildly. We're now starting to enter this period where prices are just kind of remaining depressed for a long time. Nobody expects prices to move significantly higher over the next couple of years. So if we get this extended sort of slow slide in the price of oil, what do you think will happen to Houston, which is, by the way, the fastest growing large metro area in the United States and a massive economic driver for your state and for the country?
Well, I will tell you, when we managed to adjust to $50 oil, and you and I think, did a show on this a couple of years ago, and we've adjusted. Adjusting to $35 oil or $30 oil is pretty improbable because
I got to hold right there. I got to stop it. I want you to look at the graphic. This is on March the 2nd, 2020. And at that time, the April contract for West Texas Intermediate crude was trading at $41.49, basically $41 Today it's hovering around, it's bouncing back and forth between 20 and 25. And Tillman Fertitta is talking about how tough things would be at $35 a barrel. And we're down below 25. We're bouncing around 25 with projections that it will go lower because we are not an energy independent country like some would have you believe. Like the propaganda, even coming from the White House, coming from the stump from President Trump out of his mouth himself, calling us energy independent for the first time in American history is not accurate. It is not true. I've explained to you the epitome of globalization is the crude oil industry. And this is on March the 2nd. Tillman Fertitta is saying, hey, it's hard for us to adjust at $50 a barrel. 35 is going to be near impossible. We're down to below $25 a barrel because of Russia and Saudi Arabia economically attacking us. The economic warfare that I've been talking about and Senator Cruz has finally uttered from his lips. Let's continue with Tillman Fertitta.
You really can't do anything to cut expenses and can't find any more technology to drill any cheaper. And basically, people aren't drilling much anyway. But the biggest problem is oil companies have lots of debt, and that's the way they operate. And there's so many of your small drillers, so many of your suppliers, and it's going to be interesting for Houston. At some point, if oil sticks around $30, $35, you are going to see a problem. But we've got a great economy. We saw the jobs report, but the jobs report meant nothing because everything changed Monday morning. That is when I saw the difference. That's when everybody started canceling conferences and huge conventions. Everybody's canceling everything right now. So everybody needs to remember it's going to get worse, but then it'll get better.
Yeah, and that was all the way back when? March the 2nd, and it has gotten worse, hasn't it? It's definitely gotten worse. And that's the whole point of this of saying that we need retribution on Russia and Saudi Arabia to get them straight. No, we are not energy independent. The epitome of globalization is the oil industry, the energy industry. What happens in Nigeria? What happens in Venezuela? What happens in Saudi Arabia, Russia, and other oil-producing countries? Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia. It impacts us here in Texas. And Russia and Saudi Arabia has decided that they want to put Texas out of business. And we shouldn't be taking it laying down. Thank you to Senator Cruz for bringing this to the attention of Washington, Devil City, bringing this to the attention of President Trump, and based on what he said, telling the Saudi ambassador where she can go. Raging Elephants Radio. Alice is up next.
Automobile aficionado, Apostle Claver here. Let me introduce you to my mechanic, an ASC certified mechanic, Andre at America's Repair in Houston. Now, you guys know I'm a former fully sponsored race car driver, and I own a high-performance auto. You bet I'm particular about who even touches my car. I go to America's Repair to get all my auto work done, and you should too. Andre has served Spring Branch and all of Houston for over 20 years. America's Repair will match or beat any competitor's price. All repairs come with a 1-year, 12,000-mile warranty. America's Repair is a complete car care and repair center. State inspection, muffler and exhaust work, wheel alignment, brake work, tune-ups, engine transmission work, auto body and paint. Great deals on oil change and AC checkup. America's Repair accepts all extended warranties. 2005 North Gessner, 1 mile north of Memorial City Mall in the Katy. Wednesday is senior citizen discounts. Thursday, active military discount. Call 713-467-2001. 713-467-2001. AmericasRepair.com. Or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. What's up, Saints and Patriots? I'm Apostle Claver, a proud Texas nationalist, and I'm here to tell you about Texit. For 25 years, Daniel Miller has been working to see the rebirth of the Republic of Texas. His work has been hard, but his passion is deep. For many Texans, there is a deep yearning, a burning to see the prophecy of Sam Houston come true. But the desire of their hearts comes with many questions. Texit has the answer. It's the new book from Daniel Miller and Defiance Press. Texit, why and how Texas will leave the Union. Texit charts the path to Texas independence. This riveting book of facts and philosophy will soothe your anxiety about the coming change and build your confidence that friends can get it done. You want to buy several copies for your family and friends. Like I said about this governmental mess, the only way out is out. And the best part of Texit, I'm in it. Texit, why and how Texas will leave the Union. It's selling like hotcakes. Buy it on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hey, Barry the Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars. Or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beers in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru. Located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town? Visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking.
Can you do it? The RER 2+2 Challenge. Howdy, rowdy Texans. It's me, E, the millennial voice of RER. I'm a big fan of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. More Texas voters should be listening to RER every day. A better, deeper knowledge of how Texas works will help Texas voters to make Texas more like Texas. The RER 2+2 Challenge. Listen to RER 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. You'll learn more about Texas politics in 2 weeks than you've ever known. Mark it on your daily calendar. Set your phone alarm. The RER 2+2 Challenge. 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. The rebellious voice of Texas liberty.
Information, communication, action. RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Welcome back, Saints and Patriots. I'm running behind today, so I got to jump right in to the woman of the hour, Alice Linehan, joining us via Skype. Let me see if I can fix your frame here, Alice. It's got you kind of squishy. I don't like you squishy. I got to fix you a little bit. There you go. It's been a while since we've had Alice on. There you go, Alice. Welcome back, and we're so happy that you're in good health.
Thank you. Thank you. I am glad to be here. I had a really scary situation, but I'm back and getting healthy every day and getting stronger every day.
And then you get healthy, and all of a sudden now you're in complete and utter lockdown. You can't go anyplace.
You know, it's a blessing that if it was going to happen, it happened when it did, because I probably wouldn't be here today if it had happened later.
Yeah. We were a bit shocked, but we said more than a few prayers for you, Alice, because you've got a whole lot more work to do for the cause of life, liberty, and prosperity. Your job is not done. And big education is your expertise. This is why we have you as a Raging Elephants Radio contributor, because you watch what happens in the classroom. You watch what happens at the school boards with the superintendents. And you watch what happens behind the scenes with the education bureaucrats. So your contribution is so valuable. The thing that I've been saying is during this COVID-19 panic, as Rahm Emanuel says, don't let a good crisis go to waste. Government is going to always try to take turf. And the challenge for us as Saints and Patriots, as liberty-loving Texans, is to devise ways to regain that liberty, that turf that government takes every time something like this comes up. And when I'm thinking about education, I'm thinking about this as a prime time that Big Ed is going to try to make some sort of move, or those who fund and support, who drive Big Ed nationally and in Texas, are going to be looking for loopholes, going to be looking for some sort of crack somewhere to be able to expand their influence in the classroom and in the minds of our children. You put up an article, an expose on what Bill Gates is trying to do, who is not a friend of education, who is not a friend of education choice. on Voices Empower, your website. Let's talk about Bill Gates, because we know that he's a big driver of the digital education platform in which our children's Fourth Amendment rights are being violated on an everyday basis on Texas campuses. And this whole idea of going to attitudes, values, beliefs, and behaviors, he's been a shoehorn, he's been an engine behind that. And so I'm pretty sure that with his influence and as one of the richest men on the planet, he's using this crisis to flex his muscle when it comes to education. What is he up to, Alice Linehan?
Well, not only is he one of the largest funders of the Common Core college and career readiness standards that are global standards. Now, you have to understand that those are global data standards. They are not state, they're not federal, they're global. So you were talking about globalism in the oil industry. Bill Gates is about globalism in education. And interestingly, not only is he the largest funder of the Common Core, he is also a huge funder of the World Health Organization, the same one that President Trump has been calling out for data, well, for their ties to China and their false data that has led us to where we've shut down our economy. You're talking about economic warfare. Bill Gates is a part of that through not only his funding of education, but his funding of this of the World Health Policy. It's interesting that back in 2015, Bill Gates was actually talking about a global pandemic and coming in with the solutions. And so you nailed it, create a crisis and then come in with the cure, come in with the vaccines, come in with the ed tech. It's interesting that Bill Gates, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation are controllers of, they are one of the leading controllers of the World Health Organization, but they also have put huge investments into a company called Crown Castle. And Crown Castle is the largest provider of shared U.S. communications infrastructure and 5G. And I want to encourage people to go drive by your children's schools that your children are not in right now and look at what's being done and the hot spots around the country that are being put in place by these 5G that global, it's a global data infrastructure.
When we're talking about when T-Mobile or Sprint or somebody is talking about the 5G network, this is what you're talking about.
Yes, and Bill Gates is he will, pulling up the numbers right now. According to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission filing of the Gates Foundation, they purchased 5.3 million shares of Crown Castle International Corporation. So remember when we were talking about, can I see who's financially benefiting from the curriculum on which our children's teacher are evaluated? Now, can I see who's financially benefiting from our children going completely to online digital classrooms, all in one fell swoop?
Wow. Okay. So you're saying that even right now with the coronavirus as it's happening right now, that Big Ed is trying to make moves, especially with this 5G. There seems to be a lot of collaboration. There seems there always to be some sort of hand in glove thing going on with technology, the advancement of technology and the continued expansion of so-called digital learning that takes the power out of the hands of the teachers and the parents and put it into the hands of the education bureaucrats who sell that information and who also indoctrinate our children with that information.
I wouldn't even say it's big ed. I would say it is big ed tech. They are completely, and we've been warning about this when all of the school districts were putting one-to-one iPads in the technology, and Bill Gates funded that. We reported it back in 2000. Gates gave TASA like a $6 million grant, and again in 2007. TASA got another $6 or $8 million grant for those school districts to put ed tech into the schools. This has been systematic. This has been orchestrated. And, I hear people say it's a conspiracy theory. Well, it's not a theory, and they are conspiring. And you just have to look at the money flow, and you have to look at and listen to Bill Gates, listen to him in his own words, and listen to the World Health Organization. We talked about the merging of tech, education and healthcare. That we were fighting all of the legislation where mental health and healthcare is going into the classroom. They're all merging it. If you think of it as a tire and the hubcap, or a bicycle tire, and the hubcap is the ed tech, and then you've got all these folks with different facets of control, really. The hub is the control center, and you've got a very few amount of people who have the money to be in that hub, and Bill Gates is a key one. And I'll say Tucker Carlson raised a red flag the other day. We need people raising the red flag about Bill Gates and his association, and I think that it was an important move that Trump made the other night when he announced that they were going to pull funding for the World Health Organization. Remember,
sometimes it seems like it's the ultimate revenge of the nerds, whether it's the so-called climate change, whether it's an education crisis. It's like every professional demographic on the planet wants to have influence, a power play, whether it's scientists, whether it's coders, and Bill Gates is no different than anybody else. But there are those that are within Texas. There's collaborators within Texas that are doing damage to Texas choice and Texas quality of education, not getting us back to the fundamentals of what you and I were brought up in. Alice Linehan.
You're exactly right. And we need to use this as an opportunity, one, to expose it, and for parents to see the dangers, and two, there's a big lawsuit against Zoom right now, the Zoom technology platform.
Right.
For privacy issues. People need to start understanding that the threat is there, and it is an economic warfare, and they're after our children, and our children's data is their commodity. And think of it in those terms. When you send your children online to do a class or to be a part of this system, that they are the commodity. And as parents, we need to start understanding that. And we're here. We're using Skype. Skype is a Microsoft platform. Bill Gates is Microsoft.
That's right.
The technology is here. We need to understand it, understand the threat, and use the technology to our benefit. And for parents to be, very proactive in understanding and watching their kids online when they're taking these when they're doing these classroom projects. We need to understand it and use it to our advantage.
Okay.
We're not going to stop it.
Okay, so you're saying, well, I mean, Is it possible for parents to observe what's going on while this economic and education shutdown is going on? Is it possible for them to follow what moves are being made? I guess follow you, Alice, to find out exactly what's going on behind the scenes while they're able to do all these things surreptitiously with no one paying attention.
Right. And people are beginning to see it, I believe. We have an opportunity. Kids are at home. They're using the technology. We need to be watching what they're learning. But we also, for instance, in Richardson ISD, the hot spots, it was exposed by a mom, Lynn Davenport, who's a wonderful advocate and warrior like I am, found the contract with Crown Castle, this company that Bill Gates is the huge benefactor of, that her school district was putting it in, and she sounded the alarm. That's what we have to do, is sound the alarm. The infrastructure's coming in. I don't think we can stop it, but we can use it to our advantage. And I think by exposing it and exposing people like Bill Gates, and when he gets up and talks about how he's got all of these solutions, we need to expose him. And I think doing things like the U.S. not funding the World Health Organization, not funding the United Nations, this is all globalism and pushing back against China. Zoom was sending private data to China, to third-party company. There's a lawsuit. Those lawsuits come from parents and people who are understanding. And so privacy is a big issue, and we need to start following that. But we also need to understand that our kids, we can't wait to fix this. And we have to be there for our kids as they're using this technology, as they're, in our communities. You know me, I love Argyle football. All of that is gone now. But how we reconstruct what our new normal is going to depend on us understanding, using the technology to our advantage, but coming back in our communities together, one, for jobs, and two, it's no longer about the left indoctrinating our kids. It's about ed tech and globalization and how to fight back and defund and expose those people like Bill Gates, and not put him on a platform as an expert, because he is not an expert. And we can see how he destroyed education through Common Core with his money, and now we need to expose it.
Okay, we're talking with Alice Linehan. I want to take a short break, Alice. When I come back, everything is shut down right now. I'm calling it a panic. I think the actions by the government are only exacerbating the problems. Like President Trump tweeted a couple of weeks ago, is the cure worse than the disease? Shutting down the economy, shutting down schools, and I want to specifically talk with you about schools. How do we ramp up education once we get the all clear? What do you see coming? What do you prognosticate? What's happening on the ground right now with education, with the schools closed down? What are we going to do? How do we what's going to happen? There's so many questions, because actions were taken so quickly and without any thought, if you ask me. Alice Linehan is with us. Don't cut the stream, because if you're not listening, you're not learning. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Automobile aficionado, Apostle Claver here. Let me introduce you to my mechanic, an ASC certified mechanic, Andre at America's Repair in Houston. Now, you guys know I'm a former fully sponsored race car driver, and I own a high-performance auto. You bet I'm particular about who even touches my car. I go to America's Repair to get all my auto work done, and you should too. Andre has served Spring Branch and all of Houston for over 20 years. America's Repair will match or beat any competitor's price. All repairs come with a 1-year, 12,000-mile warranty. America's
America's Repair is a complete car care and repair center. State inspection, muffler and exhaust work, wheel alignment, brake work, tune-ups, engine transmission work, auto body and paint. Great deals on oil change and AC checkup. America's Repair accepts all extended warranties. 2005 North Gessner, 1 mile north of Memorial City Mall in the Katy. Wednesday is senior citizen discounts. Thursday, active military discount. Call 713-467-2001. 713-467-2001. AmericasRepair.com or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Maintaining your home air conditioner is just as important as maintenance on your car. You don't know the big difference there's going to be until you've had the work done. I thought my system was working fine, but now it's better than ever. Galen Beatty did it for me, and he'll do it for you. Good servicing will not only keep your system performing well during the sweltering summers here in Houston, but it will save you money year after year. In my case, it cut my AC power consumption by 20%. Do what I did. Have Galen Beatty set up regular AC maintenance to cut your energy bill and prevent system failure at the worst time. And what's better than being comfortable and saving money? Whether you need a basic tune-up or it's time to put in a new super efficient system, you should call Beatty AC 281-222-9591. That's 281-222-9591 to schedule an AC system tune-up. Beatty AC and Heat. That's B-E-E-D-E ACandHeat.com. BeattyACandHeat.com.
When Andrew Jackson ran for president in 1828, his opponents called him a jackass. Jackson liked the image so much, it became the mascot of the new Democratic Party.
Green Air Technology will sanitize, sterilize, and defunkifies your home. Our treatment utilizes a high-output biocleaner to eradicate bacteria, germs, and airborne pathogens and allergens in any home, vehicle, or facility. So if your facility or home smells funky like a bow-legged monkey, call Green Air Technologies. We are dedicated to eliminating odor and airborne contaminants at home, at work, or even in your vehicle.
Now featuring Biosphere.
Call Jim Green at 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com. 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com.
What do you care about Washington, D.C.? D.C. doesn't care about you. You're a Texan. You're a Texan above all else. And there's only one radio station that's going to feed your need for Texas power and independence. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Finally, the Patriots of the Lone Star State have a unified voice to fight back and organize. 24/7, 365. RagingElePhantsRadio.com is going to give you what you need to know about Texas politics, liberty, and independence. Take us wherever you go. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Streaming on your computer, smartphone, tablet, and internet auto.
Get to know Texas politics. RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hey, I want to encourage all of you guys, especially if you're an Amazon shopper, do all of your Amazon shopping through RagingElePhantsRadio.com. In other words, look, all you got to do is go to the website. We've got Amazon links all over the place. If you just click one of the Amazon links and you enter Amazon through Raging Elephants Radio, whatever you purchase, RER gets a little cut of that. And that keeps us growing, allows us to pay the bills. Well, we get like 3 to 7% commission, something like that on whatever gets sold. But all of you out there that got fur babies like we do, you pet parents out there, dog food, puppy toys, right there in the right column. Click the Amazon.com link. I don't care if you have to. You could be buying shampoo, hair shampoo for yourself. It doesn't matter. You could be buying fingernail polish. I don't know what you're buying. Anything that you want to buy off of Amazon. We just ask you to do one thing. Go to RagingElePhantsRadio.com first. Click one of the Amazon links, any link, and get to the Amazon website through RER, and whatever you put in your shopping cart, there's not going to be any price change, not going to be any service change. And if you put it in your price cart and you check out within 30 days, we'll get a little cut of the action. We want to encourage you guys to do that. We also want you to encourage you guys to listen to Alice Linehan, because she's our RER contributor dealing with big education. Big Ed is what we call it. And if you want to know what's going on in the classroom, outside of the classroom, and why things that go on in the classroom, why they go on, Alice Linehan knows why. The big question for me, Alice, is what are they going to do? I mean, the school year has been shut down. It really isn't going to reopen to be able to finish out the curriculum for the year. Are students going to be held back a year? Are they going to be automatically promoted? How are SATs going to be handled? How are ACTs or all the standardized testing that we're still, that children are still laboring under right now in Texas? I mean, how are things going to get cranked back up? Do you have any idea how they're going to turn order out of educational chaos in Texas? The schools and everything about education being shut down in a finger snap, and you're not going to be able to get all that stuff back up and running, just like the economy, like you turn on the light switch. It's just not going to happen. Do you have any idea what the plans are when it comes to education here in Texas? Alice Linehan.
Well, think about it in these terms. Those assessments are, well, let me back up. The Commissioner of Education, Mike Morath, has put out a statement that this year's assessments will not be counted. And they're still trying to figure out the GPAs and valedictorian and all of that. It's all in upheaval, like everything else. We just don't know how they're going to fix it. But also think about it in terms of the crisis was created so that the solutions can be provided. And we've been reporting for a couple of years. You know, everybody was saying, get rid of the STAR, get rid of the STAR. Well, that sounded great, but what came in is the solution is the next generation of assessments and accountability. And these are all online digital assessments. And so those assessments, like we've been saying, are not academic. They are behavioral based. And so what's going to be coming that we need to be aware of is that they are assessments, which is assessing progress of behaviors. It's not assessing, does a kid know 2 + 2 is 4? Now, there are some wonderful teachers out there who are using the technology to their advantage and keeping kids going and keeping kids in a digital classroom. I know my son's geometry teacher is doing a phenomenal job and doing one-on-one tutoring and doing testing. And so there are teachers, there are parents who are using the technology to their advantage. What we need to keep our eye on, though, are the assessments. And what's going to come in is the solution. And I can tell you the solution is, if ed tech has its way, it's going to be these online digital assessments. And that is something to be very scared of, but it's also, I think parents will be able to see it. And I think there's going to be pushback, and we've got to, one, get educated on it, and two, organize the pushback. Just like those kids or the parents filed suit against Zoom for privacy issues. There's going to have to be pushback, and that pushback is going to be on what's coming in through the computer. And as far as what schools, think about it, in our small and rural communities, the biggest income or the income producing entity is your public schools. I know we've got in Argyle, they're building a new high school with a theater department and a choir department, and they're wonderful programs. And so I think you are going to see, when we come out of this, it's going to be a restructure, and it's going It's not going to just impact public schools, it's private schools as well, and charter schools are public schools. So there's a lot of things up in the air, but we need to really be aware that this has been put in place for a reason, and what's coming to hold our schools accountable are online digital. They're basically removing the teacher from the classroom. Who needs a teacher when you've got a computer? Or Bill Gates, writing having his people write algorithms.
Okay.
So the technology's here. We have to use it to our advantage, and when we rebuild, think in terms of rebuilding our communities and rebuilding an education system that values community and values academics, and using technology to our advantage to teach our kids academics. I don't think we can fight the Bill Gates of the world. We can expose him, but we can't take him down. The infrastructure's already there and being used in such a huge way. So we have to acknowledge it and use it and protect our kids.
Okay, so I'm a bit confused, and I want to take you down 2 tracks here. Okay. All right. So, running for office unsuccessfully, but I learned so much, right? And when you run as a candidate, you get this avalanche of endorsement questionnaires and surveys, right? And I believe that even during the campaign, I texted you a couple of times and said, hey, have you ever heard of these guys? Should I be even wasting my time filling out this endorsement survey? Because it'll be some education pack. And you'll say, no, these are bad guys. Don't even waste your time with them. But I would learn so much from looking at those surveys, at those endorsement surveys and questionnaires, because most of the questions in those surveys are leading, and they want to see if you agree with their position or not. They're telling you what their position is. And one of the most revealing was TSTA, and how they wanted to know if I was in favor of essentially what we've been talking about, turning the campus into the community center.
Right.
The center of life for a neighborhood, for a municipality, for a county, from the time your child wakes up to the time your child goes to bed. The school, the campus, Big Ed has control of them, even turning campuses into health clinics, right? I mean, that's all part of their agenda. That's all part of their platform, correct?
Correct.
All right. And so I'm kind of confused, because the campus is supposed to be the new community center. It's supposed to take place. It's supposed to replace the family. It is supposed to replace the church. It is supposed to replace the YMCA or the Boys and Girls Club. School, the campus, is going to replace all of that. It's going to replace the parent, period. How do we do that with the insertion of this insurgency now, especially now with the crises of digital learning, that the crises is bringing on more emphasis of the digital learning, when the campus, the physical campus, is supposed to be where the child is held and controlled? What we saw with SB 10 and SB 11 back in the 2019 legislative session, turning all of our campuses essentially into psych wards, where the TSTA, those bureaucrats, that union, the likes of a Bill Gates, want complete and utter control of our children, and they see the campus as essentially, for lack of a better word, the concentration camp. That's point number one. Address that, and then I have another issue I want to address with you about the composition of schools going forward.
Well, think about it in terms of where we used to be in the United States with our public schools, where that was, in a lot of sense, the community. You had your school and you had your church. And that's what the two things that are under attack, your school and your church. And so as this is rebuilt, what that's going to look like is completely different in community after community. And what we have to understand is we have to have elected officials who, for instance, President Trump is not funding the World Health Organization. We need to look at it in terms of our local community and our schools, that we will not support them if they are not doing. Now we've got an opportunity. You can homeschool. You can do it yourself. I think there's going to be a huge a majority of the people are going to still go back to that school, but there is going to be a huge number of parents who see the danger, if you will, of sending their kid back to school, and they'll do it online at home where
a potential surge in homeschooling is possible.
Yes,
this is showing parents who may have considered homeschooling previously but couldn't find a way, schedule-wise, economic-wise, that, hey, it is possible. That's a possibility. During this whole crisis, we could see a shift. But then again, we also recognize, eyes wide open, that the whole homeschooling community is under assault as well, continuously. They still, the government still wants to get its tentacles into the homeschool, still wants to get their standards into the homeschool community as well, right, Alice?
Right, and that's what we have to understand is even if you homeschool, they want to control you, and now they'll have access to the data to do that. That's the whole plan, is to get people out and get them in their homes and then be able to control them. And that's where we have to push back. And in my community, where the school is the hub, but there are also values and beliefs in the church and in Jesus Christ, and people who are unafraid to say it, will be using the technology and pushing back against the computer and the programs changing our values and beliefs. And I think that there's people need to understand that when you put that computer in your home and you're opening up your home, that now, because of what has happened, the government has access in, and we need to push back. We need that the grassroots community needs to expose it so we have the tools to push back. And I don't know what that looks like, but I know that as an individual parent with a child who I was homeschooling, he went back. He loves, we have an incredible choir department. We have an incredible theater department those teachers are doing amazing things. So what that looks like for my family is going to be completely different than what that looks like for someone else's family. And just to say, oh, well, I'm going to pull them out and I'm going to put them in front of a computer and not, be a part of the community, I think is not, it's just not going to happen. And also to say, well, I'm going to take them out and put them in a private school, believe me, the private schools are in on all this as well, because they're using the technology and they're the access. The technology is the access point to the data to control. An algorithm is just an opinion written into code. And so that's where Microsoft and Gates and all of these big ed tech people are heading down, and it's globalization, it's control, and we have to see it and push back against it.
Okay, so one of the things when it comes to the business community, the soothsayers, the prognosticators, the entrepreneurial prophets are saying that there is going to be a restructuring after the COVID-19 pan-panic. That's what I call it, the pan-panic. That business is not going to look the same. For instance, there may be CEOs out there, business owners out there, because of the stay-at-home orders, the shelter-in-place orders, not just in Texas, but all over the United States, that come to discover they don't need as much commercial real estate as they used to, right? That telecommuting for their specific business, maybe even an auto shop, could potentially work, and so they could save on the bottom line by not leasing as much space. In other words, there's plenty of people out there that are saying the landscape or the topography of how business is done in the United States, if not globally, because of this panic, could change dramatically forever, with more reliance on technology, less reliance on people congregating in one commercial location, right, in an office, right? That could change forever. There were those who have considered it, or those who never thought about it, that have always been stuck in the rut, the common practice of, well, everybody has to commute to an office. Now all of a sudden they find out they can do business better, save on the bottom line by if someone doesn't get stuck in Houston traffic, okay? I'm thinking that potentially something like that could happen with education, that it could dramatically change over these next 4 or 5 months of shutdown, that, just like business is going to change, that how education is structured, how it is delivered to the child could change dramatically. Is that a possibility, that we could see a huge shift in how education is delivered?
I think you're right, and I think it's been in the works for a long time. And I think the Bill Gates.
They were just waiting for they're waiting for the right opportunity to pull the trigger to fully implement the restructuring. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. And so, and I grapple with this all the time with my own kids. You want them to have that solid academic foundation. I want them to. And I believe my husband and I have done a good job in giving them that foundation, giving them a solid faith Christian foundation. We've given them that foundation, but they also have to live in the world, and technology is a part of that. And so you want them to know it, understand it, but you want them to have that foundation. And that's, think of where we were 100 years ago. I think my grandfather, before he passed away, he had a daily vigil, and he prayed for all of his children and grandchildren, because his greatest fear was the automobile, because he saw the automobile come into existence. And he was so fearful of someone getting in a car accident. That was his prayer every day. But think of where we were back then, when just the automobile was being discovered. And so we have to understand that it's here. And like I said, educate our kids, give them that solid foundation in academics, reading, writing, and math. Push back on the values and beliefs and behaviors that are being thrown at them, whether it's the LGBTQ, whether it's whatever it is, that goes against our own family's values. That's where the battle is going to be. The technology is here. Now we have to, as parents, take responsibility for our children's values, beliefs, and behaviors. And, it's funny, I've been exercising, trying to get back into shape, and I was listening to a video on YouTube, and I get this message through my headphones that says, stay 6 feet away. Do the right thing. And I'm like, oh gosh, is someone watching me, and am I being monitored? And it was an ad, I think, on YouTube that someone paid for to get people to stay 6 feet away. But that's the surveillance capitalism is coming, and that's really, Big Ed is a problem, but surveillance capitalism through education is what we need to be aware of, and we need our kids to understand what that surveillance. It's not normal not to be able to talk to someone and go shake their hand and have a conversation, a real life conversation. It's not normal not to do that. And in this new world where we have to stay 6 feet away and do the right thing, we need to get back to that foundation. No technologies here. Use technology to our advantage, but teach our kids not only academics, but socially. Interaction through a computer is not the same thing as a hug, a handshake, a solid, manly handshake. That means something, and that's what we have to fight for.
That's Alice Linehan. She's our Raging Elephants radio contributor. She handles the big education industrial complex here in Texas. She keeps a hawk eye on everything that happens, why things happen in the classroom and outside of the classroom that influence the education of our children and their behavior, and quite frankly, our behavior as well.
Yeah.
And the landscape of education through this coronavirus panic, it's going to change just like commerce is going to change. And I trust Alice Linehan to stay on top of it. Thanks a lot, Alice. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, we'll see you next week. You always have something for us. Something is always going on with Big Ed. That's Alice Linehan out of Argyle, one of those Argyle Eagle mamas.
That's right.
And it's great to have her back in good health.
Thank you.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Pastor Edwin Guerra delivers passionate sermons.
And then I'm reminded, God is greater than our feelings. There are times that you don't want to be Jesus to people because you just don't feel worthy. God is greater than how we feel. And that is our hope. We are called to be the hands and feet of Jesus. We are not called to be emotional, up and down, Christianese type of people. We are called to be bold and stand firm on what we believe, even if you don't feel like it.
Enjoy Pastor Edwin Guerra, 8:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Stop smoking and enjoy it. Electronic cigarette vaporizers. More than an actual product, this is the name of the company that's going to lead you to a tobacco-free life. Apostle Claver here. ECV is where I went to break my cigar usage. Now I'm a happy vape fan. Vaping, healthy, more socially acceptable. The new cool thing. No one's better in Texas to intro you to the world and tech of vaping than electronic cigarette vaporizers. Bart, Chantal, Max, and Chris will teach you every feature of the dozens of vaping devices to choose from. ECV has a cornucopia of flavors, from fruity to cookies or even tobacco, each made from all natural products. No carcinogens, no smoky smell, and a choice of nicotine levels. Slowly drop your nic level down to 0 and break your tobacco habit with no jitters or stress while enjoying relaxing inhalation. You've been wanting to do it, so do it. Stop smoking and enjoy it. Electronic cigarette vaporizers, 2755 Kestner in Houston. Call 713-939-8273, 713-939-VAPE, or see the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. The RER Marketplace, powered by Amazon, is the way for you to financially support RagingElePhantsRadio.com. It takes just a tiny change in your habits. You're already an online shopper. Enter Amazon.com through the RER Marketplace link at the top of the homepage, or enter your desired product in the Amazon search box in the right column, and RER gets a commission for any purchase you make. No change in Amazon prices or services. RER simply gets some revenue. Change your behavior and help us get the truth out. RER Marketplace, powered by Amazon.
Texas Talk is all the rage. Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Oh man, this program was stacked like pancakes. I still didn't get everything in. But I think it's important to close out the program with my brilliance, with my genius. I think there's a way for at least the Texas economy to get reopened up. You guys know that I have said from the very beginning that I was going to be the anti-pan-panic broadcast activist. You guys know from the very beginning I've said that I was going to be the anti-pan-panic talk show host, and I have been, and I will continue to be. I think the government actions are exacerbating the problem. Shutting down the economy is not a good thing. The social distancing and shelter in place and the whole 9 yards, it's doing more damage than good. And I was kind of like looking at pictures and things, and I'm saying, well, look at this. The military, they screen people, and what do? They take this temperature. They take a temperature. There's the U.S. military, somebody checking into a fort, and they're taking temperatures at an airport. You go to an airport. First thing they do is they take a thermometer, one of these thermometer guns, and they shoot it at your forehead. And I'm thinking, well, when children go to school in the United States, in almost every neighborhood, they have to walk through a metal detector. What if every corporation, every company, especially the small companies, put in a policy, and it could be entirely up to them because we believe in liberty, and the CEO says, okay, to go to work, everybody has to wear a mask. To come to work, everybody has to wear surgical gloves, if you can get them. Or some sort of mask, some sort of gloves. That's fine. But just like that child that has to walk through the metal detector before they go into the corridors of the school, before you can enter into the work environment, we got to take your temperature. And if we see a spike in temperature, you're not at 98.6, you're at 99.1 or 99.5, we send you home on precaution. Hey, Janet, hey, good morning, but your temperature is at 99.5. Hey, why don't you take the day off? Why don't you quarantine yourself for a week? Let's see what happens. Let's see how you feel for a week. They could do it a couple of times a day. You guys come in the morning to the office. We throw the thermometer gun at you. Now, from my research, it sounds like the thermometer gun is not quite as accurate as if you take an oral or an ear thermometer. Hopefully not a rectal thermometer. Lord have mercy. No, thank you. But you take somebody. Everybody is shooting everybody with these thermometer guns. Let every business decide, hey, we're going to use the thermometer gun. If a customer wants to walk in and their fever is at 100.1, sorry, you can't come in. If they're an employee or manager, hey, your fever's at 100.1, your fever's at 99.8. You may feel fantastic, but why don't you go home? And let the individual consumer and the individual entrepreneur, the business owner, especially the small business owner, that the government bailout isn't going to help not one iota. Let them make their decision on whether or not an employee should go home or stay at the office. Apparently, if there's it's just one of the symptoms. It doesn't have to be the symptom. It doesn't necessarily mean that if they have a fever that they're not carrying COVID-19 and that they're infectious, but apparently it's one of the indicators. If the military is doing it, law enforcement is doing it, airlines are doing it, how come the business owner can't do it? Okay, everybody, you have to be at work at 9 a.m. and before you can enter into the offices, we're going to throw the thermometer gun at you. And if we see abnormal body temperature, we say, no, you can't come in, go home, take the day off, do your 14-day quarantine. But if you're coming in at 98.6 or less, come on in and make some money. Come on in and keep this business alive. Now, here in Texas, we've had less than 200 deaths in a state of 30 million. So I think that these techniques, at least for Texas, could help open up the economy. I mean, it's a sad situation when you're driving on Houston freeways and there's no traffic. And usually that's, you're like, wow, no traffic. No, look, this is Houston. The smell of exhaust is the smell of money. And there's 12 noon on 290 and there isn't a car within a quarter of a mile of you. That's not good for the economy. That's not good for small businesses. It's not good for any of us. We need to find some sort of way to reopen the economy right now. Like President Trump says, the cure seems to be worse than the disease. We've got generational companies that are in danger. I just told you at the little ice cream shop around the corner, it's not coming back. It's gone. It's gone forever. There's no fixtures in there. There's no refrigeration in there. That little ice cream company, this little ice cream shop, it's gone. And there's going to be a lot of small businesses who don't have cash flow or cash reserves for an entire quarter or 6 months that are going to be able to survive. The unemployment rate is going to be unbelievable. We got to find some way. And then my solution is, hey, come to work. We throw the thermometer gun on you. If your temperature seems a little wacky, okay, go home. But if you're at 98.6 or lower, come on in. And you combine that with the doctor from St. Louis that I began the program with today. You take those preventative medicines of quinine, and zinc, and everything should be copacetic. Let's reopen the economy. Let's not endanger any more businesses. Let's not let the government seduce us to live off the government teat. Let's get the Texas economy back up and running, and let's also retaliate against the Russians and the Saudis that are putting a double whammy on Texans attacking us. I tell you, I'm brilliant. I'm somewhat of a semi-genius. We need to open the economy back up. Otherwise, in any other circumstance, you Texans should be not complying. You Texans should be defying these intrusive, atrocious, tyrannical dictates that are coming from every level of government in this panic. Now, I keep telling you, when government takes turf, it's going to be hard for us to take it back. There is no cause in all creation, no matter how desperate, even COVID-19, or benevolent, that justifies the imposition of tyranny. Always remember that. Claverism number 9. I'm Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani, the Christian politician, your ultra-conservative soul brother. My enemies under the pink dome call me the purifier. That's a compliment. I like it. From Houston, the fastest growing city in the United States, may the Lord Jesus bless you. May the Lord Jesus bless the past and soon to be future independent sovereign republic of Texas.